Hey, welcome to Get Creative. I'm Evan Schmidt. Thanks for listening. My guest today is James Hill. He's the owner of WestFair Productions and Viewpoint Streaming. Hey, James, thanks for coming on the show today. So, tell the world a little bit about yourself.
Well, let's see. Hi, I'm James Hill. I live here in the New York area. I've been in the so-called entertainment business, film, video business for probably, the first time I was on a movie set was in 1986. I had such a wonderful day. I was a featured extra on a TV movie of the week for CBS. And out of that day, from start to finish, I just had a phenomenal time and said to myself, I don't care what I have to do, but I have to work around positive people like this who are really into their jobs. And so therefore, I started my long journey into this business, and I have, that time back in the 80s, I had landed a bunch of small bit parts and small roles in independent movies, student films, walk-on parts in television, and in feature films. I couldn't make a living at it, so therefore I transitioned to behind-the-camera jobs. And after a while doing various crew jobs, I landed some gigs where I became a member of AFTRA. I was actually SAG eligible at one point, and I was also a member of IATSE. I also spent 6 years at the American Film Institute, where I just really had a deeper understanding of the art of storytelling and all of the technical aspects that really went into it. Of course, I'd already been on many, professional Hollywood movie sets, so I really learned a lot. And then as time went on, technology kind of opened the door for me and many other people, of course, where, you can get a really nice camera or cameras, and then as well as edit things on your own. So I became kind of what they call a predator, a producer, director, editor. Just a few years ago, I co-directed, shot, and edited a short film that won best short film in the suspense category at the New York International Film Festival. It was an awesome time. We had no budget. Nobody knew that, but yet we won there must have been thousands of submissions on that, for that film festival alone. But and then since the last 14 years, I've been producing video content for various clients. And about 5 years ago, I founded a company called Viewpoint Streaming, which is geared towards the market research industry. So basically, we do live streaming of focus groups, and that's been kind of growing quite nicely. We're in a half a dozen states and growing, and it's kind of exciting to, start your own business from scratch, or an idea, if you will. And all of a sudden, things have manifest to where I have clients that are Fortune 500 companies. So it's been pretty cool and very, very rewarding. And there's times where I think to myself, wow, only because we live in a great country like this that, we have these opportunities. So
Yeah, so what's something really good that you've learned?
Well, I've got to tell you, even just in life in general, I grew up, of course, long before the internet. And you relied on people's knowledge, firsthand knowledge, or firsthand accounts of things. And I would hear people tell me things, and people just believed people because that's just the way it was back then. But as I got older, I realized it was like the game of telephone. Even if it was firsthand knowledge, somehow, if it was years ago, possibly the facts might have been, misconstrued by the person, intentionally or unintentionally. And I always found it's best to ask around, whenever you hear something from somebody, especially nowadays, what we hear in the news, read on, online. Well, if you go back and look at the history and maybe do some research on that, you'll realize that more times than not, either people forget certain aspects of the truth, or they intentionally want to omit that to pitch the story a different way, or spin it, if you will. So in terms of advice, whenever you hear things or see things, especially, again, whether it's political or social or whatever, look into further when you hear certain things, because I can guarantee you the story is just not exactly the way it's been told.
Yeah. So if people want to look into the details further of you, where can they find you?
Well, let's see. I have two websites. One is WestFair Productions, westfairproductions.com. And my streaming business is also at viewpointstreaming.com. That is viewpointstreaming.com. And if anybody is in the need of any type of live event, multi-camera, professional live streaming, not a couple of iPhones with the crappy audio. No, I mean, this is like television broadcast quality stuff. In fact, I did speaking of financial stuff, I did a financial forum here in Connecticut back in November. It was streamed out live to many Wall Street people, and it was really interesting to hear. And it was basically on the financial state of the state of Connecticut, which this state is not in very good state financially, which a lot of states aren't either. But nevertheless, and again, these are facts and figures when you hear straight from the mouth of the mayor of Hartford, or so and so from the Wall Street Journal. That things like that. I've always gravitated towards the truth, and I love to hear things like that. But yeah, I mean, I've done all types of live events. It's just a fun and exciting time, and it goes back to that one day that I had in 1986 on this movie set. It's such an exhilarating thing for me. I can't even explain it. Every time I do, whether it's just a small little gig or something as big as that, where we have multi cameras going on and multiple speakers, and it's just exhilarating. Maybe it's just sort of living on the edge thing that I like. I don't know. There is a lot of risk involved in terms of technology possibly not working, or there's a crackle in the audio, but that generally doesn't happen. But yeah, it's just some fun stuff, and I encourage anybody who is even interested in doing any type of filmmaking or video producing or storytelling, for that matter, to just go for it. And that's it. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Nice. Well, James, thanks for coming on the show today and getting creative with us.
Well, I hope to do it again, and I appreciate your time, Evan. And I want to thank everybody who's listening today for their time, and wish everybody the best of luck in this new year that we have. And hope to see you guys around soon.
That's it for another episode of Get Creative. You can find more information about my guest in the show notes. Be sure to subscribe so that you get the next episode in your sleep, and please give the show a review. For more information about me, go to evanschmidt.com, follow me on LinkedIn, Twitter, and Instagram, and check out my vlog on YouTube where I share lessons that I've learned. Thank you for listening. Now go get creative.